up, people are going to forget why it was up, but they're going to recognize it. So what do you do with this kind of theory? What does it do for you? What would you use it for?
Well, me personally, I know not to watch just one channel or read one magazine or paper. You have to know to go through different sources so that you can get different opinions and possibly research that same main topic in other ways.
Okay, so use multiple sources of news rather than just a few. This is what Billy was talking about. Use some foreign news, which often I have friends who only listen to the BBC. That's where they get their news from. They say. Yeah, they say that's where they're going to listen to.
Like we're all in college and we all understand. We're like competent in this classroom.
Right.
If you go to like outside of like the Northeast, maybe to like the Bible Belt, they just listen to what they're told on TV and newspapers and magazines and by their like religious leaders, and they don't really understand. Like people that don't go to college or the masses don't really think like we think in this class right now.
Hopefully, hopefully you're becoming a critical consumer of media. Yes. Yeah. So what it does is it enables you to say, why are we thinking about this? Why are we thinking about this instead of Darfur? Why are we thinking this instead about Rwanda? Why?
And then like because, you said, like when you break something like that up, people are just like, oh yeah, you're one of those people. Like,
right, you're one of those people.
You're a weirdo, like, but.
And what's that about? That's because the media has kind of said this is what we ought to be talking about.
Like, why is there so much time being spent on talking about Britney Spears when we could really be talking about things that might be more important to like the real world, Right. Yeah. That's it. Lauren, did you have another comment?
Oh, no. I think that a lot of people also like their news light, me being one of them.
Right, so you get into the whole thing of what sells.
You're going to go for that half-hour show, and if there happens to be something in that half-hour show that I find interesting, because now you're having the political race, so of course you want to, before you vote, be semi-knowledgeable of where you're going to place that vote. So they're always talking about that now too, the Hillary, Obama, Giuliani.
Isn't the election a year away though, am I right?
Yeah, but now's when you get all the information that you need to make the choice. So I will, like if I see on another, like CNN, let's say, for instance, they had the debates the other night.
Right.
Now, a lot of people aren't interested, and that'll flip right past it, but I happen to see it, and it's extremely entertaining. It's extremely, like, they tried to rip Hillary apart that night, and it was interesting. It was interesting to see her come back at that. Like I find that interesting, but that's almost bordering entertainment.
Yeah.
But it goes along with the news light. Some people will only watch CNN and sit there for the whole 3 hours and mull over this and mull over that. I don't like that. I like it fast.
But this is what we're talking about. Andrew was talking about where they make the comments. It becomes entertainment.
Right.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So.
In a business setting also, like even beyond school, and your personal lives, in a business setting as an executive or even as a public relations person, you'll know what to put your company, what positions to put your company in to possibly relate to the rest of the world, because you'll have the media pick up on the things that you're doing.
Right, you want to get into this pipeline somehow. And you do that through public relations. People understand you develop regular contacts with news media, you feed news stories, you make things accessible. People who are in advocacy groups know that if we stage a demonstration, even if we only have 15 people, we call the news, we make it look good. Out of the 600 million things that could be reported that day, we get reported, and we become part of the public agenda. So.
I think it's a recent phenomenon, is the pre-packaging of news. That a lot of the segments that we see on the news have come from PR firms. They're not generated by the network or the journalists. They're just, they're pre-packaged. All they have to do is run it.
Released, yeah.
And it's definitely slanted.
Right. So you have to understand that news is a commercial product. That's not part of McComb's thing. But you have to understand at some point that news is a commercial product that is built around money, unless you're into public news, public radio stations. It's a little different at that point. But otherwise you're into commercial news, where it's often related to profit and selling. All right, I'm going to stop, and I'll stay here if anyone wants to go over some of their group problems or group things that they're working on. Have a nice Thanksgiving, and be safe on the roads and all that stuff.
Thank you.
Yep, let me turn this off.